Hey folks, welcome back to the Murray Homestead. Today I'm going to be doing a quick review on the Graco TrueCoat 360 dual speed, and we'll do some quick demonstrations as well. All right, so I got this paint and stain sprayer for many projects around the homestead here, and today I've been painting what is going to be our garden in the future. So I got this Graco TrueCoat 360. It was about $210 at the hardware store. They sell it on Amazon, so I'll leave a link down below. Based on my review, you may or may not want to get it, so we'll see. It works pretty well overall. I'll show y'all a couple little demonstrations, but basically you just fill this little bucket with your paint, you prime the whole system, and then you go. There's a high and a low speed. I haven't found any need for the low speed yet. So the pros, it sprays pretty well. I'll show you a little bit. So it sprays well, it sprays even. A really cool thing about it is you can literally spray upside down, which is really, really cool, especially if you're getting up and around things. And that's mainly what good I'll say about it. It does its job and it does what it's supposed to do. The negatives. This little reservoir does not hold very much paint. So for reference, I can do just one side of the fence from about here to about here, and then I have to stop, fill it back up, prime it, and start painting again. After you go through about 3-4 gallons of doing that process over and over, it gets pretty quick. It's not too bad, but it is kind of annoying to have to just constantly fill this reservoir up. And then two, the biggest downside for me is there's a thermo switch of some sort, like a thermo safety on the motor itself, and it will shut itself down when it gets warm or it gets too hot. That's the good thing because it keeps it from killing itself. What does suck is I've shut this thing down. Today, which is why I'm doing this project, it's the coolest day so far this year. It's only about like 75 or so outside. And I do not leave this sitting in the sun. After about 3 of these little buckets in a row, it shut itself off. And it's not on the outside of the box, and I thought I broke it yesterday, honestly. When you actually go to the manual, it explains that there's that little thermo safety switch in there, and the manual says to wait for 20 to 30 minutes. Depending on what kind of paint you're using, that just means your paint's gonna dry, and you're basically gonna have to clean the whole gun before you can start back over again. So to me, that's almost a deal breaker, except why you should get a paint sprayer at all in the first place. And I'll show you why. So I'm painting this fence, right? So you have quite a few flat surfaces here, but then you have a ton of cut-ins. And then what's even worse, because these slats are spaced out, you also have to try to paint the edges and the top of everything. Also, it's bare earth on the bottom, and so you don't really want your roller getting into that. So I'll show you how I've decided to use it, and why I'm going to keep it, because it is significantly faster the way I'm using it. So I'll take my roller and I'll get the big spots. I'll get that flat spot. And that flat spot. All right, so I think you'll get a general idea here of why I'm keeping this thing. Alrighty. As you can see, my wife can help me get a little bit closer. You've obviously got all these cut-ins, and especially on the corners and stuff. And then the bottom, you see, I didn't even bother using the roller there because I'm gonna get so much nasty stuff on my roller, and that's a no-no. And then it's a little harder to see, but these edges are dry. And so the alternative would be to go in there with a just a little paintbrush and do that all day. Why I think this thing is worth its money is because now I can go and hit all those edges nice and easy. And I'm doing this from the back, from the inside out. When I spray the outside, here, I'll just show you real quick. All right, so the way I've been painting this is I'm gonna go from the outside in, and I'm using the roller to do this big flat spot because I can just go roll super easy. But I need to get the edges of all these. So I'll start, and hopefully I don't get paint on the camera. Oh, that's a cool thing. Just like this, boop. Now I'm spraying that away. So I'll get them edges quick and easy. And I'll do the other side real quick. All right, so just like that, I've got all these inside spaces. I'll switch it back to this flow pattern. Oh my bad. I'll take that back. I'll leave it. And just get all those little gaps there. Do the same thing on the bottom. So now all the cut-ins are done. So now I can just come back with my roller, hit that real quick. I'll do the bottom. So now I hit it with a roller, and I can bust this whole little section of fence out really quickly. So that wasn't edited or anything. My wife will probably edit out some of my ums, but you can see this is significantly faster than sitting here with a paintbrush. So we'll go back inside. I'll show you me finish the inside, and then I'll give you my honest opinion on this thing. All right, I'll go and finish the cut-ins here. And another big thing, I don't know if my wife is going to be able to get in here, but the way the people before me constructed this fence, you got this big gap here. And usually you got to kind of wreck a paintbrush, just shoving it in there. With this thing, just like that. All right, so my overall impression on this thing, for $210 and not having to do cut-ins, I would say it's absolutely worth it. You know, if you're doing bookshelves, all kinds of different projects where you're gonna have to go back with a paintbrush, this thing is amazing. As far as like trying to paint the whole side of a house, you know, just going back and forth, I've got the narrow tip in here, by the way. It comes with a wide tip that's very easy to change out. And the wide spray is pretty damn wide. The wide spray is pretty dang wide. So if I was trying to spray, you know, a whole side of a house, or realistically a whole house, inside or outside, I would not recommend it. It gets hot and it shuts itself off, and you have to fill the spray cup all the time, and that's miserable. Another con with any spray gun that's electric, extension cord. Obviously, I've got 3 extension cords daisy chained, and if my wife can turn around real quick, you can see my house is not even that far. So if I wanted to do that chicken coop, for instance, or something like that, you might as well just grab a generator, and that just adds yet a whole nother step. And then obviously you have to clean this. I'm using water-based paint, so I can take a little toothbrush and my garden hose, scrub it out really easy. If you're using oil-based, might be a little bit, it's a whole nother step to have to get the mineral spirits and stuff like that out, or paint thinner. So overall, I think this thing is awesome. I'll leave a link in the description, but to be realistic, and they do tell you, I don't think they really lie to you, it is the quote-unquote DIY series. So if you're a professional or looking to get into doing like contract jobs on the weekend, you might consider this, but you have to be very, very aware of its limitations. If you're aware of its limitations, it'll save you a ton of time, and I like it a lot. I'm going to finish this up, and little teaser, you can see we got this whole little fenced in area. I'm going to bring in some soil, either that or make some raised beds. I haven't decided, but this is going to be our garden. It might be a little bit too late this year, even in the part of the state that we live in, but for sure next spring, we'll have a really nice little garden going. Thank y'all for stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the stupid bell, and I'll see y'all next time. Love you.